Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Trial Site News podcast. I'm Erin, your host, and today our guest is Marc Elkman, who is co-founder of Mighty Yum. So thank you so much, Marc, for joining us on Trial Site News.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it and look forward to speaking with you today.
Absolutely. So before we dive into Mighty Yum and your inspiration behind that, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So my name is Marc Elkman. I'm a health and fitness enthusiast. My mom was a professional athlete, so I grew up at a very young age, understanding eating healthy and working out. And for me, there really wasn't much fast food and sodas. So at a very young age, I really started to live a healthy lifestyle before most of my friends. I was in middle school, working out before school and drinking protein shakes at 10, 11, 12 years old. So I was just different, but I continued with that lifestyle, played collegiate baseball. And right out of college, I started my first health and fitness company, which was a fresh prepared meal plan system. So we were essentially the evolution of Nutrisystems and Jenny Craig. While they were doing things portion control, they were still frozen and preserved. I took it a step further and said, I'm going to cook everything fresh, and I'm going to ship everything to every zip code in the country. So people that work out, or people that don't work out that say, oh, it's too hard to cook healthy food. It takes too much time. I don't know what to do. I was like, okay, well, I'll make it for you. Now what's your excuse? Right. So that was my first business, built and sold it to a private equity group a handful of years later. The company really grew and scaled. And since then, everything I've done has been focused on health and fitness, whether it's been food, whether it's been fitness. But now having three kids, a father of three, I just see, really the difficulties, in getting my kids to eat healthy, because at the end of the day, they don't want to eat green food. They don't want to eat, healthy food per se. So I found a way to kind of come up with products that could essentially, I don't want to use the word trick kids, but get kids to eat healthier options, but not necessarily realize that it's healthy because it doesn't necessarily taste boring and bland.
Right.
So,
Your
yeah.
your mom sounds like my mom. She was all about eating healthy, and she used to write nutritious lunch on my lunch bag to go to school, which is luckily I was a cool kid, so I didn't get too much crap for it. But so yeah, there's, I think there needs to be a bigger push for prevention, and obviously a lot of that has to do with diet and our sources of food. And we see, as I'm sure you see, there's a growing trend of alarming rates of obesity, not just in adults but in kids as well. So this push towards healthier eating is definitely one we all should be interested in. So is that really your inspiration behind Mighty Yum? Did it start there, or was it more like, oh, my kids don't want to eat healthy, or you saw like maybe from your work in the health industry, there's a growing need here?
Yeah, so I started learning the psychology behind kids by having kids. I don't have brothers and sisters, so just understanding how my kids go to the grocery store, select items. I started to understand how to market to kids because my previous company was more focused on adults. My co-founding partner also has three kids himself. He's got the same background as me, but we've been in health and fitness our whole lives. And I brought the product. I'm like, hey, listen, my kids grew up loving, whether it be Lunchables or bagel bites or all these great, tasting products, but not necessarily the best nutrition panels behind them. So our mission behind Mighty Yum is very simple. We want kids to eat foods like that, but we need to come up with an ingredient panel that parents can read and say, hey, my kids love the way this tastes, but I also feel good about what my kids are eating. And our focus, look, adults, adults, I still think are going to love our products, but my primary focus is giving kids a fresh start at a young age, because once you gain the momentum of being overweight, being obese, not just all the health, the health factors that come along with it, right? Like why do kids need to be talking about type 2 diabetes at 8, 9, 10, 12 years old? Unfortunately, there's 340 million obese kids in the world today. And that's, the real pandemic, in my opinion. So that's our mission, is to come here and say, hey, kids, you don't need to eat a piece of grilled chicken breast and broccoli at 8, 10 years old. That's not realistic. But here, eat this plant-based lunch kit, lower in sodium, has whole grains, has ethical ingredients. Kids love the way it tastes, and it's convenient for parents. You just grab it right out of your fridge and you're out the door. And it's just our first product of many innovative products that, kids are going to love the taste profiles of.
I'm going to go back to how we market to kids, because I went to your website and I noticed a little something that you were doing, which I thought was cool. I'll bring it up in a second here, but I wanted to go back to the ingredients, non-genetically modified.
Correct. That's the biggest factor is non-GMO, right? So you look at deli meats, you look at plant-based foods in general. Plant-based is great, but you don't want to have stuff that's plant-based and also full of, genetically modified ingredients in it either, because that defeats the purpose of going plant-based. So we're 100% GMO. We'll be GMO project certified, which is important to us, kosher certified as well. And obviously, loaded up with, whole grains and great ingredients that are good for kids in school, not gonna, put you to sleep and slow you down at school.
Sure. Is there a reason, do you have a personal philosophy why you went with plant-based?
Yeah, I think that, number one, deli meat in its entirety, when it's not plant-based, is full of, for the most part, nitrates and chemicals and certain things that, research has shown aren't necessarily, great for your body, has long-term effects. So for us to avoid all of the, poor ingredients that are found in deli meats typically, because they are preserved for an extended period of time, we felt the only way to do that was to go plant-based, and really all the products from Mighty Yum will be plant-based. We're not looking to, if you look at our packaging, we're not, preaching veganism and become a vegan child. We're not trying to, be spokesmen or spokeswomen for veganism per se, but I'm a major advocate for not needing meat in every single meal at the same token. So if you're waking up and you're having eggs, you don't need to turn around for lunch and then have a turkey sandwich and then turn around for dinner and have a steak. That's just too much meat, too many chemicals, too hard on your digestion. So throw some plant-based options, even if it's one item a day. That's the vision we have for Mighty Yum.
Cool. Yeah, I just wanted to see, because some people feel very strongly about it.
Yeah.
There's all different ways to get people to eat healthier. It's probably not going to look like one thing for everybody. I had to ask you though, I wanted to talk to you about the packaging and the design, particularly your Mighty Pack, the cartoon characters, which I loved. George the giraffe, Patty the panda, Eddie the elephant, Udessa the unicorn. I resonated with her the most. She just seems like she sits around and waits to try the your product. But was there a reason you chose these characters?
So it comes back to the psychology.
Right.
There's no question that when my kids go to the grocery store, that they're looking for cartoony looking packaging, whether it's a cartoon that they watch on TV and, a company licensed through, whether it be Disney or Nickelodeon, et cetera. I've seen my kids grab things that have characters that I'm like, you would never want to eat this. Like you just, but they're just gravitate to it. So that was our focus, is let's come up with great packaging that when the kids go to the grocery store and say, oh my gosh, mommy, daddy, I want this. And then mommy, daddy grabs it and reads the packaging and say, okay, you could have this. And then the last step being, oh my gosh, mommy, daddy, this tastes great. And then there's our repeat purchasing, because we're not trying to create a product that, on paper sounds cool, plant-based lunch kits, but next step, it has to taste great. And I tell you, that's not our issue. The product tastes incredible, and most people would have no idea it's plant-based. But most importantly, it's a clean nutrition panel. And that's what, our focus is number one, it's got to have a clean panel. And number two, it has to taste great. If we don't have both of those, then we just won't launch the product.
Right. No, it's true. And the reason I brought up the cartoons is because I always thought there should be a push to put them on healthier food items, because your experience mirrors what research shows, which is, oftentimes the companies or the stores, they'll put the sugary cereal with the cartoon on, in a place where kids can grab it easily in the store. Sometimes they have the cartoon eyes, like so it makes eye contact with the child. So then there's like this trust building, and the child's more likely to grab it. And then a child will rank the cereal that has the cartoon on it versus a cereal that doesn't. Could be identical or totally different, but they'll always pick the one that has like the cartoon character on it. So it's a good to get them on healthier foods and less sugary and unhealthy foods. I think is a good move for us. Can you talk a little bit about the varieties that you offer?
Sure. So we're launching with 3 SKUs. We have a pepperoni pizza. We curated the crusts from New York, known for the best pizzas in the country. And I do believe that to be true. So we went up to New York, spoke to a few bakeries, created these unbelievable whole wheat pizza crusts that taste so fresh and fluffy. And then we've got a plant-based turkey and cheese, which is your traditional, sliced, plant-based turkey, sliced cheese in your cracker. So kids peel it, stack them however they want. That's part of the fun. And then we've got a ham, cheese, and cracker as well. So those are our 3 SKUs. We're working on a 4th, and it's one of the more exciting, nostalgic lunch kits in the past. But in addition, we've got a line of protein bars that resemble a crisp rice, like a crisp rice treat. But we're doing it full of healthy fatty acids that are good for brain cognitive function, while you're at school, has protein in it, but feels and tastes just like your traditional crisp rice bar that kids will resonate as a dessert, but parents will look at the label and see low sugar and all these health benefits to it that stick this in your kid's bag instead of sticking the traditional in your bag. That's, just going to have them crash and have sugar highs, so everything is just an alternative to things that we know kids already love, but we've got to make them healthy.
Right. And it sounds like, for people who are on the go, so they have time to, they can just, they might not have time to cook these elaborate meals and whatnot.
Exactly. Hey, look, as a kid, as a dad of 3 kids, 7, almost 5, and almost 1, time is everything. And look, if there's days where we could make a sandwich or something like that, all power to us to do so. But there are days every week that we're like, oh my goodness, can I just grab something and throw in a lunchbox? So that's our focus, is creating those items for parents to grab, throw in the lunchbox, have for a play date or at home, whatever the case may be, just on the go. Because we all could use more on the go, but typically on the go comes along with, poor nutrition panels. So
absolutely.
That's needed that way.
Yeah, the fast food. They call it fast food for a reason.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
We've all been there.
We've all been there. That's when all the poor decisions getting made, is when you eat fast food.
That is so true. Well, I think it's great what you guys are doing. I wish you a lot of luck. I think, just a movement in general to get healthier options out there, especially for kids, because, you don't want to see kids getting chronic health issues at younger ages, which is what we're seeing now. But hopefully we can do things to decrease that trend. I wanted to ask for my final question, Mighty, where are your products available? If people want to learn more about you and your company, where should they go?
So if you go to mightym.com, you could sign up for our newsletter that's going to tell you about our launch. Our launch is going to be in November. It's going to be subscription based, where you can just go to our website, have them coming to your house on autopilot, or you could just drop in, purchase, and have a one-time. In addition, we're going to be in major grocery chains and stores through the tail end of 22 and the majority in the first part of 23. So your favorite local grocery chains and convenience stores. We're going to make this product easily accessible, but you could always just go to our website and just have them come right to your doorstep.
Sounds good. Sounds convenient, right?
Sounds good. It's all about convenience. So
it is.
Trying to give parents some time back.
All right. Thank you, Mark, for your time. And thank you for everyone for joining in for this episode of the Trial Site News podcast. And I will include a link, of course, to Mighty Yum in the podcast description for you guys to check out if you want to. All right. We'll see you here next time.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you having us today.
Absolutely, Mark. Enjoy the rest of your day there. And I'll check it out too. It looks cool. Good luck with it.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it. I'll be sure to send you some here when we're in production.
Absolutely. I'm curious. Okay. Talk
Thank
soon.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.